Okay, I'm gonna do this video one more time. Uh, Basically, I've done this video a few times now. I'm gonna do this as my kind of final attempt. Okay, first thing I'm gonna say is apologize about the mess. Been sick since Christmas Eve. Still a little sick. Got gunk in the chest. Not fun. I'm gonna try and do this review as best I can, but I'm also gonna try and keep it as short as I can. So first things first. For Spider-Man 2, I'm gonna tell you right now. I was worried that they were gonna screw this game up. Thankfully, they didn't. They managed to do the parts that were important and do them right. Thank you. Um, Gameplay wise, mm, wonderful, wunderbar, great. I will say though, it was really annoying, really obnoxious, and pretty much borderline maddening how throughout the entire game, from the very beginning to the very end, I was constantly 24/7 the entire time being reminded that this game is already perfectly set up for co-op, but there is no co-op. I was constantly getting reminded for that in every single aspect of the game, constantly, with no end in sight. And the only time, and I really felt like there was even like a singular aspect of the game that's like needed to be altered at all. The problem is that what alterations it needed in order to function is like not even a month of effort. It's not even a month work. It isn't. Not even close. It's like 2 weeks. It's roughly 2 weeks is all it would take to basically do what little recoding is needed in order to make this game's skill purchasing system work for co-op. That's it. There's nothing else in this game though that is like actually needs any effort. It's already there. It's already ready for co-op. It's just not there. And the game 24/7 without fail constantly is just every second on the second reminding you co-op, co-op, co-op. There isn't co-op. So that part's really annoying. The game is also far more grindy than Spider-Man or 1 or Miles Morales. How combine those two even, it's almost more grindy than it, especially since a lot of its grind is very much stop and go over and over again. So it takes a lot longer to do any of that grind because you're only doing here's a small little snippet, small little snippet, small little snippet, stop over and over again. It's just terrible. Now, ultimately, I will say this much that supposedly there was talk about Miles Morales' sidekick being in this game and getting murdered in this game. Um, I'm not sure if maybe I just wasn't looking in the right location, but there was a certain area where I was looking to see either his dead body or some kind of evidence that he was here and got killed. I never really saw it, despite me like slowing down and looking all over in a certain aspect where you're discovering all these many villains who have been killed off screen. You heard me right, killed off screen, many of them, which makes one of their reveals that they did in the game also kind of a head scratcher because you've murdered them. So how do you plan to bring them in for the? How do you plan to bring in this group if you've murdered almost all of them? I literally can count with one finger how many are still alive from my knowledge. One. They did bring in the fact that we're probably going to get Carnage and Green Goblin. I hope to God they don't do all this in a singular game because that would destroy pacing. That would make the game borderline completely inconsistent. It'd be like Spider-Man 1 but 10 times worse. That's kind of the mental image you should have there, okay? It's going to be like that but worse because now you have Green Goblin and Carnage. That's a terrible idea to try and bring all that into one game. It's unfunctional. It will destroy itself. Just to give you a chance at making it a concise game, you would have to bump up your overall play hours from about 80 to either 200 or more even, just to make it so you can have a chance at making it a concise experience. And even then, that's being a little kind. Like, yeah, That's not great or easy. Good luck. Now, they do have suits are good. Suits are great. They have suit variants now where they'll have some kind of different colors. That part's a really cool idea. Smab's probably going to drag me into a review for that. I won't complain because I actually weirdly like reviewing suits. There is another thing that does it kind of is something that should be brought up because it is something that, in my opinion, is a failure of an idea and was a dumb idea that someone should have said something about. The reality is that a season pass, the first person who brought that up should have either been smacked or fired or had a pay doc. Because no, that was a terrible idea, and the fact that they did it was even dumber and borderline moronic. Look, it probably does not help that I myself just on every level don't like season passes, especially the way they've been just always been a greedy scum tactic that idiots literally write off because companies gotta make money is their idiotic reasoning, which is pathetic and dumb. It's a 70 I'm sorry. It is $1 billion industry. They make money, idiot. They make plenty of money without any doing that shit, okay? You're just sucking up and lying for them, which is pathetic. Moving right along from acknowledging their patheticness and reality. Let me just tell you another reality. Another reality is this. They decided, I do have to go into some spoiler. I'm going to remove as much spoiler as I can. I'm just going to say that someone important goes on vacation. And this is a terrible idea. Especially since you've made it so constantly beat into your head that this game was co-op. Removing this character from the playing field is retarded. It is so dumb. And it also kind of minimizes yourself now because many of the villains that Miles fights aren't really Miles villains. They are Pete and Miles villains. So it doesn't work. Just cutting Pete, if their idea and reasoning for this was to try and undo the whole co-op being so should have been in here problem, this was the dumbest way to go about it because it doesn't really get rid of it entirely. It just now makes it look like you wanted to bail out of something you set up, but didn't have the balls or the decency to at least just say, hey, co-op was supposed to be in here, but we've messed up. Sorry, we'll try and fix this later. No, it's just not here, and you think this is going to remove the bullet that you yourself planted in your own leg. No, it won't. It's kind of going to make you look lazy. Very lazy. Now, maybe this, just theoretically, maybe this is not what their intent is. Maybe their real intent is to try and build up Miles a little more. Kind of, you build him up a little more. And if that's your goal, I'm down. All right? Look, I love Miles. I will fight a fool on the street. I love Miles. Okay? I'll do. But if their goal is to try and build him up more, that's not a bad idea. But the problem is you don't need to gut Pete to give Miles his chance to build more because Miles is taking care of an entire large ass district by himself. Actually, I think districts. He's got damn near his own island in New York. Okay? It's kind of the big thing here is that if their goal was to build Miles up, they don't need to remove nobody, much less friggin' Pete. I'm sorry. They don't. Sorry. Like I said, still got some gunk in the chest. Ugh. The thing is that there's really no sensible reason for some of their decisions at the end. There's just no sanity behind it. I don't really know what they're thinking. And maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe. We'll have to see. Ultimately, I think what I do need to say is that even though I hate this season pass crap, and I'm going to tell you right now, if someone ever sees me put a season pass in that game I make, that means one of two things. I'm being held hostage or I've been infected with Las Plagas. Please come save my ass. Okay? Cool? Cool? Great. The thing is that even with the season pass garbage that annoys the hell out of me, even with the constant. Sorry. Even with the constant 24/7 annoyance of being reminded that co-op should have been in here this entire freaking game, which was maddening and annoying as hell, I will still give you a 9 out of 10 for having such an amazing experience. Look, does it beat out Baldur's Gate? Hell no. Alright? But I will say this. This was damn good. Okay, this was damn good. This was mwah. This was chef kiss all around. Okay, it was. But between the grindiness and the constant reminding of co-op, those two kind of just make it so I can't give you a 10. Those two things were obnoxious, especially since, like I said, one of these things is already bad enough with how it's constantly getting beat into my head. But then add in the fact that this is more grindy, but is also very stop and go. It just doesn't work. It really just doesn't. It doesn't work at all. It's just these two things ensure I cannot give it a 10, but I can give you a 9. Now I'm going to do a little quick shout to Smabsy. Alright, Smabsy, homegirl. Instead of doing a review where we grind for suits for forever, instead, let's just run with my file, which already has all the suits, okay? Just so we can save ourselves a headache. Because believe me, after playing this myself, you girl, if you think grindy before, you ain't seen shit yet. Okay, girl? This is severe grinding. Like I was begging for it to all stop. Or burn itself. Or for a save file corruption. I don't know. Just whatever came first. That's how grindy it was. Okay, girl? Please, out of mercy for yourself, mercy for me, and mercy for any people who watched that video, those streams, please, let's just do the reviews using my already completed save file for one less headache. Please? Please? No, let's limit to one aneurysm, please. Please? Yes? We'll see. Hopefully she shows mercy. I will hopefully see you guys this coming Thursday for a video. Hopefully. I hope. Hopefully by then I'll also feel better entirely, but we'll see. I make no promises. And I am sorry about the banner. It's going to take a while still. I have to get fully better before I can work on the horns. And then once I've worked on the horns, then I have to work on the Baldur's Gate 3 review. Then once I finally worked on that, I can finally work on the banner. I was kind of hoping to not do it that order, but I'm going to have to because some of the stuff I need for the banner I can't really afford quite yet, which is unfortunate. We'll see how things go. But I will see you guys when I see you. See ya.